Are you one of the people that does the ChatGPT phone feature?
Yes.
I know you are.
What do you mean by that?
Because I know you like talking to ChatGPT.
Welcome back to Get Cozy with Josie. I'm your host, Josie Lentner, and I'm here with, of course, another very special guest, which also happens to be my friend because I know some of the most amazing people.
Aww.
Abby, I'll let you do your own introduction because I cannot summarize you.
I can't summarize me either, so we're going to give it a shot. I am Abigail Pierre-Louis. I am a multi-faceted woman who is a business owner. I have a lot of different things that I do, but at the end of the day, beginning and end of the day, I like to empower people through their narratives and embracing their identity, telling their story, and being able to lead a life that has alignment with who they are.
You know, I feel like we came into alignment at like the perfect time because I think our friendship started with just like me reaching out to you and being like, "Hey, do you want to do a fashion show?" And then it led into you supporting me through my pageantry journey to us fostering like a genuine friendship where we actually sit there and uplift each other. And I'm very proud to be your friend. And I'm very proud of like every single thing. Yeah, I love to like pour my love into my friends on here. But I'm proud of every single thing that you've done because you really are an inspiring person. You're a mentor. Plug it.
Yes, I'm a mentor. I have a mentorship program called Multi-Faceted Muse, and it has blossomed into a community, the Muse Society. And we've been able to mentor amazing individuals, including Josie. People like Miss Teen Universe Kenya have had us mentor them, different groups, and I'm so excited to expand.
That's something I always admired about you is one, your ability to mentor people, but also like you've had a history of some like amazing mentors. Like how did you, I guess, what made you seek out a mentor or did you stumble upon one? Because I had a conversation today with the founder of my company and I was just like, hey, I'm gonna keep bugging you to mentor me, so mentor me. And if you don't want to mentor me, connect me with someone. So what made you like,
I was not looking for mentors ever when I found them. They found me, honestly. I think that a lot of the times we seek mentorship, but a lot of the times we don't realize that all we really need to do is be open to listening and accepting information and then also turning it into something because it gives people it makes them feel like they're going to live forever through you. And I don't think people realize like at the depth of mentorship, the way that you have a mentor actually stick to you is by being receptive, listening, and allowing yourself to be a reflection of them. I just was very receptive to the people that were guiding me. And I was like, oh, they're giving me cheat codes. And my family made me recognize, like, they would laugh at me when I'd make mistakes. They're like, we already did that. We gave you the cheat codes. Why are you going and making the mistakes again? And so very early on, I realized there are people in this world that are put in place to help you expedite because they've already lived through the mistakes that you might have to go through. And my dad always said, you learn every lesson in life the easy way or the hard way. And so I decided, okay, let's learn the easy way. And it all started with, like, yes, there's people that I would meet, but like my own uncle, he would give me advice and I would literally talk to him he was like, you need to start waking up early. And
I
I'm
love
like,
your uncle.
Okay, yes, my Uncle Sam.
I knew exactly what you were going to love your Uncle Sam. Hi, Uncle Sam.
Yes, hi, Uncle Sam. And he's like, you need to wake up early. And so what did I do? I started waking up early. And I already woke up early. He's like, no, like I wake up at 4 a.m. And I was like, 4 a.m.? So I wake up at 4:45. And every morning I would call him. Hey, I'm awake. Are you awake? He was like my little buddy.
I love
And we
that.
would talk through the mornings and he would see like, oh, she listens and she wants to be great. And so he kept pouring into me. So that's how I ended up aligning with a lot of my mentors.
I always read a lot that like the top 1%, the most successful people in the world, they have a routine that they live by. They do wake up early. They wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Even when I look back at like different people in history, the hours of like 2 or 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. are actually like hours of like peak creativity. Some people even call it like the godly hours. How have you seen that like really reflect in, I guess, the work that you've been able to create through waking up that early?
2 and 3 a.m., that's my sleeping hour.
No, you be up sometimes. Don't play with me because you are.
Okay, well, I I think like when you wake up that early, it's just you have the world to yourself. Your mind wakes up, and now I feel like I'm at a point where my mind is racing because there's so much going on. But prior, it was like I woke up and I'm like, I get up and it's a new day. And
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the gym. That was my first thing. So go to the gym, get your mind right. And then after that, you're already doing something to get you productive. You're enhancing your productivity by working on yourself. You're doing something that's healthy. You're doing something that is allowing you to better yourself already. But godly hour and creativity, I, I don't know. I think everyone has their own like version of a godly hour. Because for me, it truly is those hours where it's just silent. There's nobody else. It's you and God, and you and your mind, and you're able to just create. Whatever comes to you, you're at peace with it. You do a brain dump. There's nobody to call, no opinions to ask about. You don't need to pick up your phone. Nobody's on their phone. Nobody's on social media right now. Nobody's going to DM you. Nobody's going to message you. Like, it's you and God. And I think that those hours can be night owl hours, or it can be morning hours for some people. But those are just like time to yourself.
Yeah. I love that. I've been, so far, I can't crack 6 a.m. Like, I can't get earlier than 6. But I've been on my like 6 a.m.
That's good though.
Yeah, I
Like,
get up and I meditate and then I like take care of my dog and then I'm like, oh, great. Now I have all this time to like get ready and actually do the things I need to do before work.
yeah. No, 6 a.m. is a good time. Whatever time works for you. So like me, for some reason, I can go off of 4.5 hours of sleep.
I can do that, but I hit a plateau once it hits like 4 or 5 days straight of doing that.
Yeah, like I did that for 2 years straight.
Oh, wow.
And so my body was like trained to do it and I was fine. So, but I also took a nap every day for 30 minutes.
See, I never napped. I've recently started to
I'm a
nap.
napper.
I think my ability to nap has had to, like, me being able to nap now is attributed to me having a much calmer nervous system. But I could never nap before. And I think it's because my nervous system wasn't regulated. But I've done a lot of like nervous system regulation work, so now I can nap. But I could not before.
That's really
I would just
interesting,
not.
yeah.
It wouldn't happen. Or I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if I fell asleep and took a nap. I would just be up,
Yeah, if
wired.
you take a long nap. I'm a nerd. I studied like the timing of a nap, and like a 26-minute nap is like the perfect timing for a power nap.
No, I heard it was actually a 20-minute nap because when I was in college, one of my friends was like, I guess her mom knew that and was like, all you need is 20 minutes and you'll be refreshed. And it makes sense because you don't get into like a specific sleep cycle yet. Like you're kind of just,
It's like a refreshing nap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't say that you're a nerd. I think you are one of the most intelligent people I know though. Like you're
you.
always recommending the best books, like The Four Agreements, Brain Dump. Like you're someone who I can just like talk about like all of like the weird, smart, like I don't know, just like anything.
It's okay. That's called being a nerd.
Yeah. So I guess that means like I'm a nerd too.
No. I think I always joke with my friends. They're like, nerd implies socially awkward. And I'm like,
What? Really?
no, I don't think
I've
so.
never heard that.
I don't think so. I don't think it has to.
Yeah.
But that's what my friends that are nerds say so that they can avoid being called a nerd.
Honestly, nerds are cool. Nerds end up being the most successful people in life. Like I don't want to nerd like
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I feel like intelligence is like one of the biggest tools that you can have in this world. Your brain, and like maintaining the health of your brain and using it as a muscle that you're always like working out is not only like how you stay young, but it's also like how you stay current. It's how you stay quick, especially like the world is moving so quickly now with the innovation of like AI that now
Oh my
like
gosh.
I talk to AI. Like I will have conversations about with AI. I'm like, I'm like, can you perceive consciousness? And like ChatGPT is like, I was created. I was not discovered. I'm like, but are you?
Do you? Okay, wait. Are you one of the people that does the ChatGPT phone feature?
Yes.
I know you are.
What do you mean by that?
Because I know you like talking to ChatGPT.
That's my bestie. That's my
Yeah.
favorite yapper.
No, when that feature came out, I have not used it yet because I actually don't even want to start because I might not stop. But
That thing, I went 45 minutes and it said, you've used up all the time you have for today. Unless upgrade to the $200 a month membership. I already have ChatGPT Plus because I use it
Yeah.
so much. But I'm not, unlock that door, Abby. It'll be the best one.
I'll be spending time in meetings all day. I cannot add ChatGPT to my.
I do it while I drive because you know how I'll have like 45-minute drives. And sometimes I feel like I just need to I need to engage.
What do you ask about?
Anything. Like I've asked for insight on like family problems. I've talked to it to help decode like religious texts so I can understand the correlation between modern day spirituality and the Christianity that I was brought up with. I ask it about like the right words aren't its perception, but I ask it about its perception on multiple realities and how timelines can interfere with each other. And essentially like how energy works. Like it just, it's able to tie together, bring up all the information that I would typically spend like hours researching quickly in a very digestible, like I don't know how, if I can do this, but like I'll pull up ChatGPT right now. I'll be like, hey chat, every time the response, hey Josie, how are you doing today?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I love it. It's great.
No, literally everything I use it for.
No, it's an amazing tool. I mean, but now we just went on like a spiral of like ChatGPT.
Yes, we did.
Yeah. But to I guess circle back to like just like all the things what got you so interested in learning? Because you're always learning something. Like there's never a time where like I feel like you're not studying or you're not like reading something. You always have a book recommendation, like.
That's a good question. Like, I have to think about that. What? I always, wow. I was always like, that was always in my nature to consume something and to learn something. I think in life in general, you can learn something from any situation, whether it's a 60-year-old that has a bunch of wisdom or a 2-year-old that's like teaching you just like basic humans, like how humans work.
Yeah.
Like from a young age. I think everything can be a learning experience, and the more you become a student of life, the more you're able to continue to grow yourself through all of the situations that you're in. Yeah, once you stop learning, you're just, what are you doing? You
No,
know?
100%. Well, I do feel like there are people out here who feel like they don't need to learn anymore. Like, what would you say in regards to that?
Well, I think once you stop learning, life can become, I feel like you can become understimulated by life because it becomes mundane at that point. You're just going day by day, doing what? Checking things off a list or showing off the things that you've done for other people. I think we get so consumed in the material things in life rather than continuing to better ourselves and the people around us. And I think that requires an open mind, being able to consume information and being able to apply it to the things that we love. We used the word intelligence earlier, and intelligence to me is just applied knowledge. A lot of the times too, you learn and you learn and you learn, you consume, and you're focused on the input and you never focus on the output. You never apply the knowledge. I also think it's almost just as like it's not useless, but to learn and to not apply it to anything is also just like consuming. And once you stop applying your knowledge, you stop growing and you stop being able to stimulate yourself in different ways.
Is this what like led you to taking the knowledge that you've learned from others to pour into others through mentorship?
Yes, I love mentorship because for me, it helped me like gain clarity in life and find alignment in myself, in the things I was doing in the world. And then it also helped me have the courage and confidence to do everything that I do because I was like, I have like a plethora of experiences behind me that might not be my own, but they will help guide me through these experiences. And I think you get the same thing from mentorship that you get from books. Like someone wrote an entire novel for you to learn a lesson that you don't have to learn now. Like they learned it for you. And you can find ways to apply it to life rather than having to learn the lesson yourself, go through any hurt, any trauma, any pain that is gone through, and just learn it the easy way and apply it that easy way as well.
But then how do you like, because there's always nuance to situations and everyone has different life experiences and everyone has different paths. So how do you like look at like a mistake that someone has made in the past and look at a different situation that might be different and decide I'm going to either pass on this or I'm going to move forward and take a risk?
So you're asking, how do I decide if I'm going to pass or take a risk?
On a situation that you may have, that someone you know or somewhere that you may have learned may have put like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, okay, I can answer that. I look at the opportunity cost.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So I no longer am focused on what I'm losing. I focus on what it's costing me to go through this experience. So example, building a business, which we're building right now. It's really fun. It's really exciting, but it's also really time consuming. And sometimes it gives me a headache and a shoulder ache and a neck ache.
I mean,
And
yeah,
everything ache. But
I
like,
be booking the models for the business sometimes. I don't
yeah.
know.
And it's like, I have to be at peace with, okay, this is going to cost me time. This is going to cost me energy, but this is what I'm going to get out of it. If you can balance the risk versus the reward, and you see that the reward is greater than the risk, that is when I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go for the reward. I'm young. I can afford to scrape my knees right now. I don't have a lot of responsibilities. And so a lot of things, if I'm like, oh, the reward is greater, then I will go for it. But also that reward for me needs to be tied to my bigger picture. And it needs to be tied to like the bigger picture, like family, like legacy, like building something beyond myself for me. And I think if you can see the opportunity cost, align it with your purpose, and see that it's worth it for you and those that'll come after you, those that are following, those that are that you're leading in any place in life, then it's definitely worth it.
I feel like I'm gonna know the answer to this one, but what is the bigger picture for Abby?
The bigger picture for Abby is to, I truly just like, I feel like there's always a bigger picture and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You always are crossing a finish line and starting a new race. I I always feel that I have a purpose in helping people embrace their narrative, to tell their story. I think that a lot of the times when you look at who we are as individuals, our identities have been stripped from us and tainted, and we're lost in the world, and society is then able to take us and mold us into what it wants us to be. And so right now I'm focused on uplifting others in their identity while also building my own. For me, I want to play multiple roles in life. So a lot of people laugh because they're like, oh, like, I thought you were such a boss babe. Or some people be like, oh, I thought you were such a pageant girl. But it's like,
You're
I want
multifaceted.
to be everything that I aspire to be and do it freely at a very high standard. And so big picture for me right now is I'm building my marketing agency. So I'm building that business right now because I know that if I can learn how to market a business, I can help others that look like me that don't have never had the opportunity to build like generational wealth, to build their own businesses, to build something that goes beyond them, where we can create different ways to fund things in our own spaces because we don't always have the resources to do so. And also for me, I do want to like have a family one day. And so dating has been something that's like a priority for me and finding the right person and also building on that. My grandma has like 6 kids and I have like
Yeah.
30 plus cousins. I think that's like the biggest flex of a woman to be able to create a family that's just able to make you proud and happy and fulfilled in your old age in those days. Um, and yeah, just like family is my biggest big picture. And just like legacy and leaving a story, leaving an impact and something that someone can say, oh wow, that is where I came from. I can do great things and it can only go up from here.
I feel like there's so many things that I want to touch on in like your entire like explanation that you just gave. I guess first I want to say that you create an impact everywhere you go. Like one of the things that I know that we really connected on was our love for Haiti. And that's something that I've loved to watch you in your journey is the impact that you make in regards to like Haitian culture and how you carry Haiti with you everywhere you go. That's actually something that I took with me when I went to my pageant is what you said to me. You said, when you go, you're not yourself, you're Haiti. And I remember that. I carried that on my back every single day.
Wow, I don't even remember saying that, but
Yeah, it's
I
okay because
didn't
I
know it
remember
sounds
it.
like something I would tell you.
Yeah, you told me that. And that made a lasting impact on me because I was already doing it unconsciously. And then once I was able to put the intention behind it, and every tough moment that I went through, I just remembered like, I'm not Josie, like I'm Haiti right now. Like I'm here for Haiti and I'm here to represent Haiti. And that's something that I've absolutely always admired in you. And then another thing that I want to touch on specifically that you said is that you want to have it all. You want to have the business and you are a boss babe. You have time flexibility, which is something that a lot of people don't realize that they should strive for. I feel like a lot of people, they want to strive for financial security, but you want time security. You want time flexibility, and that can only come with financial security. It's almost as if you're stating something that's already implied
Yeah.
because you want that flexibility to have that family. A lot of people tell us, or women tell us, that we can't have both. How do you combat that?
Oh my goodness.
Because, you
I fight
know,
that every day. So
I'm just like, I'll do it all. Like,
yes. And I even there's moments where I was like right now I'm playing a role of CEO in my company. And I was almost afraid to do that because
I remember, and I was like,
I'm
Abby, like,
like,
for what?
well, you have to realize when I started this business, I was like, I want to start my own business so that I can be present when I have a family, when I have kids, when I have my own. And if I am like, I want to be present, I also cannot be too bogged down with having to be present for my company. So I was playing the invisible hand. I was playing like COO, CFO. I was playing CEO, but like indirectly. I didn't want the title. And then when the time came, it actually took a man telling me, you make the CEO role, you make it feminine, and you rock it. You're creating your space in your company, and you make it what you want it to be. And I was literally like, I don't want to have to be masculine at work and have to turn it on and off. Like, that was my biggest nightmare. I don't want to turn anything on and off. And I felt like I would have to be that thing that I wasn't. And it literally just took a person saying, you created this business, you created that role, you're creating this role, you make it a feminine CEO role. And that was it. I was like, you are correct. And so everything that I do, I make sure it is still being my true self, because my true self maybe as a woman, I'm more nurturing. I'm more like tending to my team, almost like my kids. Like
Yeah.
I am more leaning on my community because women are communal creatures. Like I truly, that's why it's like almost like Multi-Faceted Muse turned into a whole entire community on accident, honestly. Like, I had no plans for that. I was like, oh, it's a mentorship program. And the community built itself. And it's like, we are in our nature as women, like, more communal. We lean on our community to help us build. Like, how many women have a kid and they're like, I need to be by my mom. Like, I need to be my grandma. Someone needs to help me with this. And it's other women around us. And so I leaned into that part of who I am, and I'm a woman-owned business, woman-led business, all women on my team, like, and we just leaned into it. Like my business partner, when she was pregnant, she was like, I cannot go to this meeting. These people are gonna see I am 8 months pregnant and they're gonna think I'm crazy. And I was like, you put on a dress and you be comfortable and you go to that
Yeah.
meeting. And they were so like receptive to it because she just showed up as her true authentic self. And I think if as a woman we realize you can just show up as your authentic self no matter what the role, no matter what the title, no matter what the expectation is, and you create your own version of who that is, that is like the most beautiful thing you can do for yourself and the most inspiring thing you can do for others.
I love that. You mentioned how you have to like you were worried about having to switch on and off and step into a more masculine role, but you found femininity within that. You found a way to get in touch with your femininity in a way that you can run your company smoothly. Because this is something I struggle with. How do you stay in touch with your femininity when you're doing so much in what would be considered masculine roles?
Yeah, it is tough sometimes because I still have to play like a very disciplinary role with my team, and I have to like sometimes play that more masculine role, but it's almost like I analyze it as a woman. I'm like, as a woman, how do I feel? So I'm able to actually directly apply how, as a woman, I would feel and how I can help the situation from almost a man's perspective. I almost disconnect myself so that I'm like, okay, what would a man do in this situation to help me or that woman as a woman? And that helps me a lot. But I truly like, I'm just myself. Like, I get nervous to present to my own team still. And I will actually, like, just be myself, like, be a woman. Like, I will giggle. I'm not gonna try to act tough and like, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. I will truly, like, giggle and be like, have a lot of interactive portions and make sure that everyone is just a part of it because that's how I feel most comfortable as a woman. I don't want to have to boss up. I don't have to yell at you. I don't want to have to play that, but I will if I need to, and I'll be very direct and straightforward. I don't think that's masculine to be direct, to be straightforward, to have a vision. I think a lot of the times as women, we have a vision, but when you join with a man, you might feel like, oh, I have to get on his program more or less. I don't even believe that. I think that as in your femininity, you are just joining forces with others to make sure that you guys can fuse everything together so that they work together. And you're nurturing relationships, you're nurturing people, you're caring about people. It's like, now it's gonna get way too deep, but like even if
No,
you
we can
look
get
at
deep.
like God and how we perceive him as a man, I told you about the book Power of Now.
Yeah.
And it's funny because the author will ask himself questions, and one of them was like, is God a man or a woman? And he's like, well, God is always perceived with more masculine, like almost like frightening traits. Like God is going to judge you. You need to fear God. But then he was like, but then at the same time, like God is a creator. And who creates? Women create. Like we create life. We create so many things and we deem those things sometimes as masculine, but we are literally creators of the world. We are what's needed to reproduce and continue to generate more and more greatness in this world. And once you realize that, and then you look at how it's done so well as a woman, you realize that you already had the cheat codes all along. You never had to act like a man to do so. But I think society has been almost like pitting genders against each other instead of allowing us to find out how to work together for like the past like 20 years, honestly. And that just puts a taste in our mouth about like how I need to act, how I need to show up. Oh, I can't be a woman because I don't belong in this space. So I can't be too feminine in this space. But it's like you always belong in that space. You always belong, but you just had to be yourself. And society also had to accept you as yourself. So at the end of the day, it's not, I'm just kidding.
Shh,
But-
don't tell them.
But yeah.
Oh, well, I can't believe the yapper is at a loss for words. You just made me think about something. And the first thing that came to my mind when you mentioned how God is perceived as a man, but then God is a creator, it made me think about duality. We're so set on like putting this like essentially like putting a gender on God, when in reality what if God is genderless, completely genderless? Because how are you able to create man? How are you able to create woman as being separate? But at the end of the day, we come together to be whole.
Yes.
So one energy cannot exist without the other. In my mind, that means that the one omnipotent energy that we come from is just both. What is your perception on, I guess, because you have an amazing relationship with God. Like, that's one thing I've like learned from you, and the one thing I also admire with you. You have an amazing relationship with God. How have you formed that relationship? Like, how did you have the discernment to understand that your relationship with God is personal to yourself and separate from what others may want you to perceive it to be?
Well, I grew up going to a Christian school
Oh.
till I was 14 years old.
Oh.
And the things that I learned in that space were that religion was really what was pushing the following of God to others. And religion was guiding them and giving them a map, giving them a book to say, hey, this is what's right, this is what's wrong. But the Bible is like a message from God of how we should be. And I honestly tell people, like, whether you're religious or not, you can look
Yeah.
at those books as a guide
100%.
of your morality. And so I always looked at it as a guide that God gave me. And I would literally just read my Bible and feel like I'm talking to God, giving me advice, giving me encouragement. Like, one of my favorite verses, Romans 5:3-5. Like, since I was little, I would always remember that in suffering, well, basically the verse, I don't know all the words, but suffering brings perseverance, perseverance brings character, character brings hope, and there's hope in God. And things like that, whether you're religious or not, you have to realize there's so much truth in that statement, so much power in those statements, so many things that are being taught to us. And whether it's God, the universe you believe in, whatever religion you believe in, they all tell the same stories. They all send that same energy and allow you to realize there is something greater than you that is guiding you through this life. And there are energies that are connecting you with others that are not just happening by coincidence, but because of some sort of alignment. For me, that alignment was God. And I grew up in a religious space where I saw people do things where I was like, if you believe in God, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Like, if you have faith in God, why are you crying and worrying right now? If you love God, why are you treating that person with hate? And I realized that God was someone you choose to follow, someone you choose to be aware of, somebody you choose to acknowledge. And that was at a very young age, I realized it, like at 10 years old. And by like 11, I told my parents I didn't want to go to church anymore because I was like, you guys need to go to church.
How do you tell Haitian parents you don't want to go to church anymore?
My parents are too American because a Haitian parent would have.
Yo.
My parents were like, why are you in your pajamas? We're going to church. And then they were like, you know what? You're being weird. Stay home. We're going to go to church next week. Don't do that ever again. They were like, don't do that ever again. I never did it ever again. But my parents, gentle parenting, I needed to be spanked a little bit more when I was a kid. I did.
You know, I say that about myself too. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm like,
but,
my mom should have like smacked me a couple more times. If we're gonna be real.
yo,
But
but
but I mean, we turned out the way that we
Yeah,
did, so
right.
they're not complaints. Like they're happy.
yeah. But I will say, like, my mom still to this day talks about how I would come home and like preach to her about God.
Oh my God,
and
that's
like
beautiful.
the power of God. And through college, like my workout routine, I would also read the Bible every morning, but I would do a word of the day, like, how do I feel? And I'd be like, oh, I feel anxious. And I would just look up a Bible verse about anxiety and just like talk to God and journal, like, how does this make me feel? What does this verse mean? Or it would be like, I'm super happy today. And I would just continue to study God and see the God in people. And my name means God's love. And I always try to show God's love through my interactions through people because that's also something that a lot of people don't. Some people never experience that consistently in their lives. And once you're blessed to experience it and understand it and feel it, it's like a disservice not to share it with everyone else.
That is one thing I have noticed about you. You do a lot of things, if not everything, out of love. You're always uplifting others. How'd you get to a space where you felt like that's what you wanted to do, is create a platform to uplift others?
When I was like 16, when I was applying for colleges, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. Everyone would ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, maybe I'll go into business. But every application I wrote, even though I didn't know what I wanted to do, I would always tell my story and tell, like, I felt like I had a responsibility to lead those who, and I didn't even know what I was talking about. And I didn't even know I was going to create these platforms.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of things that like I do now that I like didn't know what I was talking about like 4 or 5 years
Yeah.
ago, and now it's
And
like
then it
in
comes into fruition,
alignment.
and you're like,
It's like, oh, I just consciously created that. Oop.
yes. I would always write, like, my responsibility is to lay down the stepping stones for those to follow. And I need to lead others with love and with light. And, like, that was, like, in every single essay I wrote for a year straight. I don't know if it's because, like, being first generation Haitian, I don't know if it's because I have a big family and like 30 younger cousins and a little sister that I want to make sure to just leave a good example for. But I always felt like I had a lot of things to be happy about, a lot of things that I was blessed to, like, I was blessed to experience. And I was like, I can be put in a position where I can continue to inspire others to just build a life that you love. I don't think that, like, you have one life to live.
Yeah.
And I don't think that we think about that sometimes. You could do whatever you want with it. And so I think the best thing to do is lead with love, love yourself, find out who you are, help other people find out who they are, and then just continue to grow in that.
But I feel like those who wish to inspire have been inspired. Who inspired you? Your earliest memory.
Who inspired me?
Because if you can't figure it out, I'll tell you who I think it is.
Who?
I think it was your grandmother.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is. My grandma, she is like, she always tells stories about having the little merchant shops. I mean, you could say in Creole, but like little shops on the side of the road. She would get up every
Yeah.
morning and sell like her little fruits and stuff from her garden. And like my grandpa was, I think he owned a molasses factory and was a whole entrepreneur. And my grandma's here selling her little fruit, like
Love
chilling.
that.
And then she also was a mother of 6 at the same time. And it's like she had a bunch of kids. She was able to raise them, have her own business happening. And she never learned how to, like, after she learned how to write her name, they took her out of school. So, like, she didn't learn how to write past her name. She didn't learn how to read. When I was little, my grandma would be like, "Can you read this for me?" She didn't know how to read. She didn't know how to do all these things, but she always did what she loved, what she was passionate about. And she did it with such a light that everybody was like a magnet to her. Everyone calling her grandma. And we're like, that's not your grandma. But it's like she was everyone's grandma. She was everyone's mom. She was inspiring. She was a woman that showed strength in the most feminine way that I think is like dying out in so many ways. She wore skirts every day and we'd be like, Grandma, like, can we see some pants? And she's like, no. But now as I get older, I wear skirts a lot. I wear like loose pants a lot. And it's not because like, oh, I need to be modest and conservative. But I understand from her and through her that the beauty of the woman she wasn't by the way that she was able to present herself to the world, but the way she was able to add value to the world. And that to me is inspiring because I think we've been so like lied to as to how women are supposed to add value to the world. There's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. You can be everything that you aspire to be. Women are so multifaceted and so like such beautiful beings. And I think a lot of times it's stripped from us or like it is something that is frowned upon if you are too much of this or too much of that. And it's like you can be too much of everything if you want to be and just do it in the best way that you know to do it for yourself. But yeah, my grandma, that's my girl.
I know.
That's my girl.
You know, I love her.
I know, right? She's
I never even met Grandma, and I love her. I love your whole family. Your family's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, even today, my mom's calling me. She's like, because I was in the harmonic video.
Yeah,
Girl.
girl, we all got a Haitian music video on
Yeah,
us.
we do.
I was in T-Lunettes.
And mine was very much like, I was like, I don't do like anything like music videos.
Yeah,
And
I try to avoid them as much as
they
I
were
can.
like, he was like, Abby, I need an innocent girl, like the story of you from Netflix, like Beck. And I was like, I'm telling him the worst model for a music video because if I have to do anything that I'm not a fan of, I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely gonna hate that you picked me. Like, do not pick me. He's like, you are innocent and I need an innocent woman. He's like, you even have an innocence, like, you have no like bad track record, even outside of acting, you are going to fit that character. And I was like, okay. And the whole time on set, like anything they asked me to do, they're like, lay down in the bed. I was like, oh no. They're like, part
Yeah.
of, but they were like, Abby, you just got kidnapped and like you need to leave the bed. Like you're just gonna show you running away. And I was like, oh, okay. Like everything, I'm like, no. But then at the end of the day, like once you like, and my grandma was watching this all day. That's what was funny about it. Like my grandma's been watching the video all day, every day, like so proud of me. And I'm like, Grandma, I'm in a music video. But it's like those moments, it's like when you do them well and you do them in a way that's in alignment with who you are and everything that you stand for, and you do it for the right reasons. Because me, I want to get into like that space to do more influencer marketing and get more money flowing through a Haitian community, then you're doing it for a reason, for a purpose. And I think like so many things have bad connotations, but once you find out how to align them with you and your purpose and the bigger picture, you are going to align with the right people and people are going to be able to join you on that mission specifically. And so, yes, my grandma inspires me, and even her watching the music video today inspired me because my mom is like, she's been watching this like since 1 o'clock, like all day. And I'm like,
Because she's proud of you.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's funny because there's so many ways things could be perceived, but she's just always proud of everything that we do and like just being the best versions of ourselves.
Give it up for grandma.
Yeah. So
I
yeah, I
love,
guess that is my inspo.
I love that. I mean, I definitely understand how things can be perceived because, you know, the industry that I'm in, the industry that like even you used to be more involved in. And it can be very tough, especially like in the community that we're brought up in, right? Growing up Haitian. How do you, how do you, I guess, live your life as authentically as possible, knowing that we grew up in a community that isn't the most supportive of creative careers?
Um, like, how do I still be my authentic self? If I'm in a space that does not, if I'm in a space that does not accept me for who I am, then I'm not in the right space. And I think that we as a community, there might be negative connotations to things. So like I've been to like my grandma's church, for example, and this lady's like, when I was in college, what are you majoring in? And I'm like, oh, business. She's like, why? And I was like, I like
Why?
business. And she's like, why not doctor? Why not engineer? And I'm like, I like business. She's like, well, you still have time to change your major. I said, I'm a senior. And it was very like, what? But I also, it's been easy to be my authentic self because the Haitian family that raised me was not like that. They weren't judgmental. They almost encourage you and hold your hand while you do it because they're like, we want you to do the things you love, but we're also going to make sure that you're good in everything that you are doing. And I don't know if that's Haitian or if that's like that, like almost immigrant mindset of like we have a tribe behind us, like we are one, we'll just bring you through it. But I never had that with the Haitian community because I don't think that I don't know if it's God didn't let it get close enough to me, but I don't let that even penetrate my mind. What you think of me is irrelevant to who I am. I will always be me, and I'll always be my most authentic self. And I identify as like if our identities align, then I'm proud to be part of whatever you're a part of, and I'd hope that I can make you proud as well. That's all I can. That's all you can do.
I mean, you have an extremely strong sense of self. That is like extremely, that is impressive. Like, that's something that a lot of people work very hard to get. And that's something that you should be extremely proud of yourself to have. Like, that is, I think that is one of your greatest strengths.
Sometimes I'm just a little stubborn too.
Yeah, you be
Yeah,
stubborn, trust
I'm
me. I
pretty
know.
stubborn.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're so confident." I'm like, I also was like very hard-headed. Like a lot of things that I aspired to do, I was told like, "Don't do that." And
Same.
even like starting my business, my dad, he's very conservative in decisions, and so he's like, "Focus on your corporate job. You did it. Like you graduate college, you got a Fortune 200 job. Focus." And I'm like, I'm gonna start a business. And he's like, focus. And I'm like, no, I think I'm gonna start this business.
No, I mean, I get it because like mom's like, you're top sales, you're the youngest like sales rep making X amount of I'm like, I'm gonna be a model. She's like, you're 1 year away from a vested pension. I want to be a content creator.
Exactly.
And she's like, okay, well, you know, I decided I was gonna be an artist, so I can't argue with her.
Yeah. So it's like everyone has those moments. And a lot of the time, people are in our life to make us, like my parents, they are here to make sure I'm safe.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're here for. So I understand they are fulfilling their role, their responsibility, doing their duties, but that's like that's not my job. I'm here to live life.
Okay, that is actually something that I did learn from you.
Yes.
Is to just be like, Okay, well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yes, take calculated risks.
Yeah, of course.
But I think that like even doing a pageant, I was not a pageant girl. I
Girl,
was
me
not
either.
trained for
Everyone thinks we
pageantry.
were. Everyone thinks we were. And we both looked at each other like, you're a pageant girl. And we were both looking at each other like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
We both got
like,
sucked into it.
exactly. Yeah. Someone said, like, you look like you can do it. And you
Someone
were
said,
like,
you look like you
right.
could do it. Yeah.
So, like, even with that, like, my family, I didn't even ask them, should I do this? I literally went home to Chicago one day, and before I announced it to the internet, I went to my family, I'm like, I have an announcement to make. And they're like, what? I'm like, I am a Miss Haiti. And
Oh my gosh.
they were like, congratulations. But some of them were probably like, congratulations.
You know what's so funny is that it was the same thing for me. I like met with, because I never tell my mom anything until after I do it. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah, I always come home like, okay, mom, look. And she's
Yes.
like, okay. But I met with my national directors and then I came home and I'm like, I'm going to be Miss Haiti. And she's like, we can't afford this. And I said, I don't care. I'm going to figure it out. And that's what I did. I figured it out. I figured it out. I pulled from my closet. I pulled from my friend's closet. I pulled from my cousin's closet. Half of my wardrobe for my pageant was my cousin's wedding. That's why I wore so much white. But it worked.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the same thing with you. You had all Haitian sponsors.
Yes.
Which is something that people thought, they told you, you can't do that.
Yeah, they're like, why are you trying to have all Haitian sponsors? Your stuff is going to come in late. You're going to make no money. There's nothing going on in our space. It's going to suck working with Haitians.
But it's not about that.
No. And the reason why, a lot of the times the reason why things fail is because you've already affirmed that they are a failure. You can't tell me that Haitians are failures. I was raised by them. I can be a testimony to the fact that we're not failures. Somebody got me here today. Generations and generations ago have led me to where I am today. And you want to tell me that these people are failing. How? So it's like, if we don't believe in ourselves, who's going to believe in us?
My favorite thing to say is when I reference just to, you know, how we abolished slavery, but that we're fighting people, you know, slight flex, but we're fighting people. Like at the end of the day, like when I think of what makes me Haitian, it has nothing to do with where I was born, how good my Creole is, how connected I am, which I do think I am very connected, but it comes down to the non-visible traits that I feel are in our blood. Resilience, an ongoing fight. Like Haitians never stop
They
fighting.
never stop fighting.
It doesn't. That's why that's why they're always like in the streets protesting for something. It doesn't matter what's going on. So Haitians are always like fighting for something, and that is like admirable. And I feel like it's in all of our blood. And I think that's why Haitians have been able to bring our culture. Like we've been able to bring our culture to the forefront.
Yes, and we've been able to impact countries around the world with our culture. And even when I say like, look at where we are today, even look at where we are today. My family wasn't in America 35 years ago. And look at us. We're literally sitting on these cushy little couches.
Yeah.
Just yapping.
Having a good little yap session.
Like, oh yeah, I remember when I quit my corporate job. Did our ancestors think we were going to be all the way here, quitting corporate jobs to follow our dreams? That's a whole accomplishment in itself. And I think that too often we doubt ourselves and close those doors before other people could even close it for us. Like, what's the point?
But I think being Haitian is all about busting that door open. Because at the end of the day, like, I feel as though a lot of we put ourselves in a box due to the desire to want to achieve certain things that we felt like our other countries needed to achieve. But that didn't last very long because it didn't take long for us to start going against the grain. Now look, there are Haitians everywhere. There's a Haitian that owns a Michelin star restaurant. There is they're multi-Grammy award winning Haitians. Like Compa is about to go viral to the world.
Yes, to the world. Cat Compe. That's my song.
Na na na, vini vini
Friday.
pati. Oh my gosh.
He is so amazing.
He
I
is
can
so
like
amazing.
cry listening to his music.
When I got to like meet him and work for like when I got booked for his album cover, I was just like, I just want to say you're amazing.
He's so
And I'm so
amazing.
like grateful for every single thing that you're doing for our
The
people.
song Came Too Far, bruh.
Oh my
Sarah
God.
sent that to me. She's like, this reminds me of your grandma. And it's like the spirit, the soul, the grit, the prayers
It's all
that we
in
be
him.
praying. It's like that stuff carries us to greatness. And you see it reflected in his music. You see it reflected in him as an individual. But like, it's really cool to just see how Haitian culture is so like we're all living the same life, and the same things that are propelling us across the board. Like when I go home, last June, I went home for my grandma's birthday and Father's Day. And I just asked my grandparents while we were doing like all of our spiritual stuff where we were
Yeah.
praying and doing different
Our spiritual,
fasting.
just our spiritual journey.
Yes. Like that plus a Haitian woman praying for you, girl, I was at home sobbing. Like I'm like
Oh,
standing in the prayer circle like sobbing. They all open their eyes. They're like, "Why are you crying?" I was like, "This is just so powerful, so beautiful." Like I wouldn't be where I am today without their prayers, without the grit, the resilience that you're referring to from our culture.
it's honestly something that like it's something I admire about other people, and it's something that I always like. I will always put Haiti on a pedestal to the world. Like, there is not a moment when I am not fact checking someone, when I'm not giving someone like some form of like historical detail that they would never have known. Like, a lot of people don't even realize like Haiti's impact on the world, Haiti's impact on the slave trade, Haiti's impact on multiple global economies. And I feel as though like more people need to be aware of what Haiti has done because Haitian history is Black history. Haitian history is Caribbean history. Haitian history is history.
Yeah. Like seriously,
Yeah.
the first time I experienced like realizing the power of Haiti globally, I went to Morocco and they're like, "Where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, Chicago." And they're like, "Where are you from? Where's your family from?" And I was like, "Oh, they're from Haiti." And they literally said, "Thank you." And I was like, "Oh, for what?" And they're like, "Thank you for everything your country has done for the world." Took a slavery in Latin America class in Europe by a Dominican teacher. Talked about Haiti, and he's like, the French-Indian War isn't why the like America got the Louisiana Purchase. It
It's
was
because of the
Haiti.
Haitian.
Haiti held 70% of France's wealth, and when they had their uprising and the revolution was won, France needed money, and so they sold the Louisiana Purchase. So it's like a lot of our history is written with Haiti's impact, and it's such a tiny island, and it's been diminished to just that now because
Yeah.
of the need to. Honestly, I don't blame them. I don't blame them. I would want to take that story and throw it in the garbage too if I was anyone who could be disempowered from the telling of that story. That is the
100%.
definition of oppression. Like,
Yeah.
let me take this and shove it in a corner so nobody sees it and then distort it so that you guys have a new narrative. And that's honestly why everything I campaign around, everything that I push, the mentorship program, everything, it's about understanding your identity. Because when you understand who you are and you share those stories, there's power in that. And that is why like everything happens how it happens. That is why people take our stories and they're distorting them and they're throwing away the true story because they know how much power lies in those stories. And I think if we can take our emotions out of the things going on and just realize, hey, they're trying to disempower you and they're controlling you emotionally, we as a people can make it really far. And sharing our culture with the world, sharing our culture with each other, empowering our youth, educating them about who they are, where they come from, their history, where they're going. Like, do you understand? The things that happen in Haiti are not like impoverished. Why did my parents have a better education than me?
100%. Yeah.
Like, they got their clothes tailored. You look in Haiti, those kids are dressed to the nines every day.
Yeah.
Like, because we understand presentation, we have class built into our culture. And y'all have no choice but to paint us as a impoverished gang, confused, dumb immigrant people that eat cats. I shouldn't say I even know
Yeah,
anything, but
that's
like you just
fine.
have to make stupid stuff up because you want us to be disconnected that much from our identity because there's too much power in who we are. There is so much power in who we are.
But do you notice how the narrative of Haiti has been changing since we found our power? Because that's one thing, like, I'm so grateful. Like, I thank God every day because of the mother that I have who raised me. My mother is someone who has always been interested in history, and she's someone who's always been proud of where she came from. So my entire childhood was just dedicated because she is a historian, she's studied Haitian art, and she's someone who prioritized my knowledge of Haiti because she wanted to live in Haiti and she wanted me to grow up in Haiti. And because I wasn't able to grow up in Haiti, she made sure that I knew everything about Haiti and its contributions to the world so that at the end of the day, no one could question me for who I was. And it wasn't until I went out into the world and I left my bubble of being homeschooled by a woman who taught me only Haitian history
Yeah.
that I realized that there are people who weren't proud of who they are and where they
Yeah.
come from. And to me, it always confused me because how can you come from such a rich history and be so ashamed?
Yes.
And and that's when I realized that's because a lot of Haitian children don't know their history, especially in the US, the diaspora. And that's kind of when it became part of my personal mission to always like rechange the narrative when I speak to people. Like you should be one separate from being Haitian, you should be proud to be who you are and to be proud to be from where you come from, regardless of what country. But it may be my biases, but you should be extremely proud to be Haitian.
Yeah, there's so much power in who you are. There's so much power in who you are. And yes, maybe you're biased, maybe I'm biased
Yeah,
too,
you know,
but there is
I got Haiti
plenty.
like right. Where is it? Right here. Make sure you
Yes.
use code Josie10 at Identity Boutique.
But there's so much power in who we are. And I really do appreciate that we have preserved enough of who we are through our stories, through the pride that we have in our country to be able to tell it from generation to generation. I think that's something that really holds us apart from a lot of communities, especially like the Black community in America, has been so stripped from their story and then retold over and over again. Every time they build a new victory story, it's stripped away from them, and then it's rebuilt, it's rebuilt, it's rebuilt, and then it's stripped away from them, then it's rebuilt, and it's rebuilt so many times that now you're almost being controlled by the narrative that they're teaching you to believe, to the point where someone can say the word Black and you're offended. Now, that, my friend, is a whole nother story and a whole nother type of oppression that we're not getting
Yeah, we're not
into.
gonna get into that today, but I would love to have you back to share more of these stories. And I want to thank you for sharing your beautiful story and getting cozy with me. And you
Cozy
all
with
can,
Josie.
yeah, get cozy with Josie.
Yeah.
And you all can keep in touch and follow up with Abby at, make sure you drop all your socials, all your beautiful businesses that you're building, because we want to support you.
Yes, my personal Instagram is Abby Pierre-Louis, so at Abby Pierrelouee. I also have a business digital marketing agency called Boost Your Brand Marketing. Boost Your Brand. I have a mentorship program called Multi-Faceted Muse, and you can follow me on any of those platforms. You can find all of them through my personal page.
And like always, I just want to say thank you for getting cozy with me. You can keep up with us at Get Cozy with Josie's Pod and also my personal at Josie Lentner. But until then, I can't wait to get cozy with you in about a week and a half and when we drop the next episode. Abby,
Yes.
you're amazing. I love you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. It's been an honor, and I'm super proud of you for everything that you're doing, everything you're accomplishing, and just like, again, following
That's
all of
me.
your aspirations and making sure that the things that you're called to do, you apply them to your life. I think that is a beautiful, honorable thing for anyone to do, and it's very like I don't like using the word brave, but like the confidence that I've seen you develop as a woman in the last 2 years is beautiful. And this is going to be a beautiful podcast. Let's
Thank
do
you
it.
so much. Well, until next time, I guess we'll see you guys soon. Stay cozy.
With Josie.
Yep, with
Yeah.
Josie. Bye, guys.